Welcome, everybody, to the Den of the Dawgs podcast. I am the co-host, Clarence Wilson. And with me, as always, my main man, Double R, Ruben Rodriguez. What's shaking, brother?
What's shaking and what's baking? And it's good to be back, man. It's been a while, but we're getting closer to the nitty-gritty time, so there's going to be a lot of football to talk about here. Let's get to it, bro.
That's all I want to talk about.
Let's get to it.
We're not really going to harp on this Deshaun Watson situation. We're all in a holding pattern. Ain't no need to discuss it. Y'all don't want to hear our predictions on how many games. I'm tired of hearing everybody else's prediction on how many games.
And I'm tired of telling everybody our predictions on how many games.
Exactly. Exactly. So we're going to get into football.
Yeah.
We're going to start off today.
Oops, hold up. Go ahead.
Browns have a solid rookie class coming in.
Yes,
no
they do.
First round picks, which if you've been a Browns fan over the last 20 years, that's very odd for us. But we know where those picks went. But we're gonna look at our rookie class today and kind of think who we think might have the biggest impact, maybe a sleeper, and just go over a few of our predictions on the rookie class. I guess I'll start off. For me, I guess the guy I think is probably going to have the biggest impact. I got two. One is a little hard to say because he's unsigned. That's Perry and Winfrey. But I'm thinking that the wide receiver David Bell is going to have the biggest impact. I'm not going to bring in Cade York because we've obviously been searching for a kicker forever too.
Yeah.
But I'm talking purely position players. I'm thinking it's going to be Bell. The Browns, although people want to say that BPJ is penciled in as the number two, he might be just that, penciled in. He had flashes last year, looked decent, but from everything that we've read and everything that we've kind of been told, it seems like Bell is a bigger Jarvis. Short-handed,
Younger.
Yep, younger, runs his routes well. David Bell's kind of the guy that I'm looking to maybe step up. Winfrey, I would love to see it, but he's not signed, which I'm still a little confused as to why that hasn't happened yet. But those are the two guys I guess I'm kind of looking at. I guess we'll go in a little bit deeper dive shortly, but I want to hear Ruben from who you thinking is probably going to be maybe our biggest impact guys.
Now, of course, everybody's going to say York, and me too. He's going to be the guy that's already doesn't have to fight for a job. And like you said, been searching for a kicker since Phil Dawson. And yeah. And, this kid, remarkable, 19 out of 21 field goals in college from over 51 yards or 50 yards. Oh, my God. I mean, everything is in place for this kid to do well. Again, you got a kick in Cleveland. You got a kick in Pittsburgh. Those are places that are held for kickers in this league. And you're in a division where you have two of the best kickers in football with Justin Tucker and McPherson from Cincinnati. So that's going to be that's a position of need that we filled, and I think the kid's going to step up big time. So I'm going to get him out of the equation because we know what kind of an impact he's going to make on this team. I mean, what an asset, bro! You kick a 55-yard field goal and he makes them with 10, 15 yards to spare. I mean, could you imagine the impact that's going to have on play calling for one in the offense? Second. Perry on Winfrey is like, I'm like you, man. I mean, the kid came in here hell bent on being here. We all saw the video on draft night how he was, roofing it up because he was coming to the dog pound, but he's not signed. He's a third round pick. If I have any advice for the young man, the bag ain't gonna be that big now. You got to earn that bag. So get I don't know what he's being told by his agents or whatever the case may be, but I would have liked to put him in there as a breakout star. But again, you even miss one day as a rookie in training camp, even one day sets you back crazy amount. But again, as I look at the rookies, it's got to be David Bell. David Bell comes in here, as you mentioned. with DPJ and learning from Amari Cooper, and we'll get into Cooper much later. But yeah, he's the kid that, and you know, we have to understand here, this wide receiver core, Cleveland Browns wide receiving core last season was third from the bottom in the league in what? Separation. I think DPJ led the team, and then Joku with 13 yards per catch. That was third from the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
All the wide receiver cores in the National Football League. Now you got Amari Cooper, who's, you know, he's our number one. He may not be a number one in some people's eyes. He may not be a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL, according to the Madden 23 geeks. But, he may not be that top 10 wide receiver, but he is the Browns' number one wide receiver. And DPJ is going to be there. You got Schwartz coming back, and now you got a guy like David Bell. You got at least three guys that show some signs of that can separate from the cornerbacks and safeties. We didn't have that last year. Sure, we could blame on somebody who's not here anymore. He was noodle armed and he couldn't get the, you know, but the fact remains, stats don't lie. This team was third from the bottom in separation by their wide receivers. If you don't separate, that means you're not open. If you're not open, there's nobody to throw the ball to. It's that simple. It doesn't matter who your quarterback is. If you can't separate, you're going to have a tough time getting any targets and getting any passes. But I agree. David Bell's going to be the man to watch it. He could be Offensive Rookie of the Year before it's all said and done.
Yeah, it's I'm interested just to see how he fits and where he fits in that wide receiver room. Because as we said, you know, there's between DPJ, him, and Schwartz. In my eyes, they're all battling for that number 2 slot.
Yeah,
and I would venture to say probably that DPJ and Bell probably have the leg up over Schwartz just based on what we saw last year.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. Schwartz is a guy that's intriguing to me because of his injuries he had last year too. We didn't get to see what, you know, we were led to believe he was going to be when he got here. We saw some flashes in that very first game of Kansas City. I mean, he was all over the place. He was wide open everywhere.
Yeah.
He caught 3 passes, like 59, 60 yards. And, you know, we said, wait a minute, this kid was a steal. Then, you know, injury set in, it happens. Stuff happens. You know, you're a rookie in the NFL. Used to be, how I say this, used to be the top of the totem pole. And all of a sudden in college, you were the top man. And now you're in the pros, and you see how real football is, man. You see how it is playing with grown men.
Yeah, where you get to the NFL, and everybody's big and fast.
Everybody's bigger, fast, and strong. But it'll be interesting. I think they'll have a well-rounded receiver room. They got a kid, got so many rookies in there that they drafted in later rounds, and the name escapes me. And I apologize for that, but he said he may be a looker as well. Felton, look out for Felton, because Felton's going to be that tweener that can run routes. He'd probably do more intermediate routes. He's that kind of guy where you do the little quick outs or the bubble screens with, or a quick 5-yard out or something. He's there. He proved that last year. He got a couple of touchdowns on 3-yard passes, and he broke some tackles and made some plays. But again, you know, we talked at length a couple of weeks ago about the wide receivers and all that, but you know, we didn't really get into who we thought was going to be going to come up. There's quite a few of them. Like the kid at defensive end, not Winfrey.
Isaiah Thomas?
No, not Thomas.
Or right.
Yeah. There'll be another one. We'll see what happens. Again, there's a lot of positions that we have to look at. The tackle positions inside. Tommy Togliak could be another breakout guy. I'm going to say he's a rookie. He's not a rookie, but I don't think he saw the field at all last year. So to me, this will be his first year playing. Tommy Togiak could be a breakout kid this year too. I'd still consider him a rookie because he didn't play last year at all. But we'll see. You know, we'll see how he pans out. And again, it's depending if they go after Sue or not. If they don't go after Sue, then we may still have some problems inside, especially if Winfrey doesn't sign right away.
Yeah. What do you think? I mean, we kind of talked about this a little bit, but I was shocked that they went with MJ Emerson. with that first pick. Where do you think he kind of fits in? Because I feel like pretty much since Dorsey was here,
Mhm.
that defensive backfield has been reshuffled and reshuffled and reshuffled several times. So, and it seems like the only mainstays, I guess, was the Warden, who was obviously drafted.
Yeah.
But then obviously they brought in Greedy, Delpit, JJ3.
Mhm.
So it seems like they're pretty deep
And
back there. So
Newsome, the list goes
where,
on. Yeah, I
yeah,
think
Newsom, yeah, sorry, yeah, Newsom, yeah. So where do you see MJ Emerson fitting in?
I
Because to
think
me, it's kind of like he's like what, a
he's a
third, fourth cornerback.
I think he took and the name and the initials MJ are kind of telling here because I could see him, but he's got the same stature as the other MJ we had, MJ Stewart.
MJ Stewart, loved him at the end of the year.
And he could be that kind of a player. He could be that, when you come in with the dime packages, he could be that guy. He like I said, he's about the same stature. Uh, I don't know much about how he can cover safeties because MJ Stewart, he was a hitter, man. The dude, he wasn't big, but I mean, he was all over the field. MJ Stewart had it going on. Wherever he ended up, they're gonna get a fine player in MJ Stewart. I always liked the kid. But I see, yeah, that's what I see this kid as another MJ Stewart. I think he could fill that role again. Greedy Williams, man. Greedy Williams looks to me like if there's an odd man out, man, sounds to me like it's going to be Greedy, and it's not going to be because of his injuries and all of that. It's just that this team is all. I think Newsom is going to have a breakout. Newsom is going to be that second shutdown corner that we desperately need here. It's going to be Newsom on one side, it's going to be Ward on the other, and you know what? That's it. It's going to be like Minifield and Dixon. You put me on this guy, you put me on this guy, and leave it alone. Don't even bother us. That's how good Newsom is going to be. Oh, he's going to get his first pick because they're in training camp. He was coming up with ball after ball after ball. So, and the way he was acclimating to the defense towards the end of the year, we all saw how good the defense was towards the end of the year. He started to get it, and now he's going to get more reps. In training camp, he's going to know the system that Joe Woods has. And I see big things coming from Greg. So Greedy Williams better watch, start working hard. He may be the odd man out here, man, if depending on this new kid MJ, what he does when they start training camp.
Yeah, I'm very interested.
And that may have been the plan all along. That's probably why they drafted the kid.
True, very true. Yeah, I'm just interested to see kind of where he fits. There's a lot of names back there in that defensive backfield, so it's going to be very, very interesting to see how they use him.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, they wanted the kid because with that many guys already put in the defensive backfield, they used their first pick in the draft, well, after trading back, of course.
Yeah.
But they used their first pick in the draft on a corner, so it should be very, very, very interesting.
It'll be interesting, and Clarence, this as well as I do. You can never have enough good players on special teams.
Sure.
And that's where a lot of these players make their name, man. They go all out, they go crazy on special. Mac Wilson, well, the little time that he was here, he turned into a starting linebacker, mostly based on his agility and the way he performed on special teams. He was the guy that was always around the ball. It didn't work out for him here, for whatever reasons, but I mean, yeah, special teams is a lot for these players that are coming up just to get them a taste of what's going on, and coaches see that. So, like I said, you can never, and with a player like that, you don't have to run out starters on your special team.
True.
You get players out here that'll, I don't want to say some are made for special team players, but which I think is going to be a vast improvement this year as special teams. And maybe he's that kind of a kid that could start there, but also, again, the Jay Stewart kind of a player that can come through for you when you need him in the defensive backfield.
Absolutely. Do you think any outside of Bell? I mean, we can't really talk about Winfrey yet because he's not assigned. Do you think in Bell and York, do you think any of the other rookies have a chance to be a starter on this team?
A starter? Depending on the Sue situation, Winfrey could start if he signs again. I mean, Bell and Winfrey, the two biggest guys that we're talking about here, but um starters, I think they know that the organization knows when they pick these gentlemen and where they picked that they probably weren't going to draft any starters other than Kate York. So they're filling holes, they're filling needs. The biggest need obviously was in the defensive tackle position, so they still got a couple guys in there. And it's very intriguing to me, though. What I saw a story the other day about Takk McKinley.
Yes, I was just going to bring him up.
Yeah, that he's totally not out of the picture yet here, and that would be huge for this team because at the time that Takk played
well.
He played well. He just pinned his ears back, and here you go. Here it is. Stop me. If you stop me, fine. But you better bring your lunch because you're going to be here a while.
Exactly.
That's the type of player you need inside. So if Takk McKinley could make his way back, that would be huge for this team too. But no, as far as how many rookies are going to start, Clarence, you know as well as I do, the first pick in the draft was at 78. Very rarely do you find a player at 78 that's going to start for you. Now you're filling holes, you're filling needs, you're filling your roster. You're getting backups, good backups, fantastic backups. In the case of Perrion Whitby, he may just end up starting, and but I don't think anybody else will, other than Bell.
That's kind of where I'm at. You got Bell, you got York, Winfrey. If he can get in here and learn the playbook and everything else, you might have a chance, especially because they don't seem to be that thick.
And Kate York, for obvious reasons, Clarence, we don't have any other kickers.
Yeah, ain't nobody else here.
Ain't nobody here. Yeah. We have no other kickers. They're gone.
Yep, ain't nobody else here.
But another intriguing thing to me, and I was going to just dive into this for a little bit, was the Browns' 5th round pick from Cincinnati, Jerome Ford. Now, this is what gets me about. Okay, by drafting Jerome Ford, you could quite possibly have 5 running backs. Great camp with this football team. Something has to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You got Nick Chubb, you got Kareem Hunt, you got Dearness Johnson, you got Felton, and you got this kid Jerome Ford. That's 5 running backs on this team. If you want to go that route. You could say Ford and Felton because Felton could be that guy that, again, he's that guy, that tweener, that guy running back, wide receiver mix. And you can just say, yeah, Felton. You could put WR next to his name, and it is what it is. But when's the last time you saw any team in the NFL could go into week 1 with 5 running backs on their roster? It's unheard. I've never heard of it.
Not just 5 running backs, but 5 running backs, 4 of which could play for anybody. Yeah.
So here's the thing, though, with that, though, Clarence. What you tell me? If Jerome Ford stays on this team, which position and which player is going to be the odd man out? Because there's going to be a position where we just don't have room for you.
Well, I agree with you. I feel like Felton is going to get put to that hybrid position where he's
right. So
running back, wide receiver. So that gives you 4.
Yeah,
even I just don't know that the carries are there.
Right, even 4 running backs. So what do you do with a kid like Jerome Ford? How do you waste a talent like that? Do you have other plans for this kid? He's not going to be a returner because you got a returner that you've already said is going to return everything.
Mm-hmm.
There's always special teams, but do you want to risk a kid like Jerome Ford on special teams? He's not that type of a player. Well, how do you use this kid? Do you bring 4 running backs in? You can't put them on. You can't put these players on. I call it the taxi squad anymore, because they can be picked from. You can get players from another team off the practice squad. So you're taking a big chance. And what are you going to do? Are you bringing this kid in just to give Nick Chubb rest in the preseason, and then when the 3rd preseason game comes, tell Jerome Ford, thank you very much, you're a great player, but we got to let you go? No, not in a kid this caliber. It's just stunning to me. And if you remember the draft show we had with all the other guys from Believe Land, I had mentioned that Jerome Ford, that's a kid that intrigued me. I thought he would go in the 4th round, but he dropped to the 5th, and we ended up getting him. And it's like, it's just, I don't understand. Maybe do they have plans of not re-signing Hunt? And that's why they want to keep this kid, or this isn't like basketball where you can stash a kid and let him play in the European League or send him over to the G League and play where nobody can touch him. But well, not anymore because the G League they can. But we see what I'm getting. They can't hide this man anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So what somebody's going to say, if you're going to keep him, then somebody else. Is Jamarcus Bradley then? Is his position as a wide receiver in jeopardy here? Is the third tight end now not an issue anymore because you got 5 running backs? Is I don't know, the 4th, 5th linebacker position and a position of need and strength that you need? Who's the one that's going to take the fall here? I mean, I'm scratching my head now, and I'm still scratching my head. It's like I've never seen that. I've never seen a team break camp with five running back before. I'm just excited about seeing and worried about at the same time about seeing how this is going to unfold because I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, this is going to be you figure they've got to have some kind of plan to get these guys on the field.
Right.
I'm not sure exactly what it is because you don't want to take Chubb off the field.
No. Well,
you got Hunt. Well, if you're going to pull Chubb off the field, you'd like to replace him with Hunt.
Yeah.
But between those two, obviously Dearness, he needs some touches. He showed that he can play.
Yeah.
So if let's say all 3 of those guys get carries, well, what are the other 2 guys going to be doing?
Exactly. I mean, so you already got Dearness who proved he could do it. He'll get touches if it's 35-7
in
the 4th quarter. Again, I know the kid that why they drafted him because of his talent, but what do you do with them? I mean, just to have him sit there, unless you got other plans, unless you got something in the hopper. I don't see any contract talks happening for a couple of months now with Hunt. Maybe you don't have any plans on bringing him back and you want to go younger. If that's the case, yeah, I could get that. I see that. But as of right now, you have Chubb, Hunt listed 1, 2, Dearness 3, and who's going to be 4 and 5?
Yeah, it's not the old NFL where we could say, all right, we got 5 good running backs, let's trade one for something of value. Where nowadays NFL they pick up running backs wherever they can find them. So outside of dealing Hunt, what do you think Hunt would get you? A second at best, at top end at best?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That remains to be seen.
We were discussing what the hell the Browns are going to do with three really good running backs we know can play. Felton, who they just drafted last year, and now Mr. Ford. So, as we said, that should just be a very, very, very interesting situation going forward.
And on the other, and if you flip it the other way around, that's one good problem to have, though.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not like, you got 5 guys and you're picking out which one of them can play. Because you could have any combination of Chubb, Hunt, Dearness. You can have Chubb, Hunt, Ford. You could have Hunt, Ford, Dearness if Chubb goes down. I mean, I don't want to say you won't miss a beat because Chubb's your number 1. He's your horse. But they wouldn't be in a bad spot if any one of those 3, if you mix up, even Felton. So, it's a great problem to have. It's just, what do you do with all of these players? It's like, you got 8 apples and they're all red and juicy. Which one you eat first? What do you do with the other 7? It's interesting. We'll see what happens. They have a plan. Again, we have to put trust in the front office and the coaching staff and see what they can come up with. What's your take, Clarence, on this year on will this defense, now that they know they got a little bit of they saw what Joe Woods' system is like, and everybody was complaining. I know you saw it as well as I did on Twitter last year. There was everybody asking for this guy's head in the first 6-7 games last year. Do you think this team will come out running, with, come out with their feet on the ground running, knowing that they know Joe Woods' scheme this year, or the fact that they lost a couple of guys off of that defense going to slow them down a little bit?
Honestly, if they don't come out guns blazing, I will be shocked. We saw what happened those first, 6 to 8 games last year, where wide receivers for the opposing teams were running wide open all over the place.
Yeah.
They were getting shelled. They couldn't hold a lead, and then something clicked in the second half of the season, and they kept us in a lot of games. So I will be absolutely shocked if they don't come out and kind of pick up where they left off last season. There were some losses, but I feel like the most of the key guys have returned. So if they don't come out and play top 5 in the NFL defense, I will be shocked. I don't really expect to see us in many shootouts like the Charger game or anything like that last year.
Yeah, I that's what I'm hoping for too. It's like, defense wins championships. I'll say that until I don't talk football anymore. Because you could have the best offense in the world. Rams, Bengals proved that last year. Two high-powered offenses, and the team that won scored 20 points.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, I want to see that. I want to see these leaders step up and say, they got a great test on week 1. Maybe not we're hoping for, but it's going to be here. People are saying that, and I was thinking about this too. It's not what Baker Mayfield can tell the Carolina Panthers to prepare them for the opener against Cleveland about what the Browns defense will do. And people are like, oh, Miles is going to eat. He's going to kill him. And then Clowney on the other side, and we'll have JOK blitzing him. That's all fine and dandy. But what's going to help the Carolina Panthers game plan for the Cleveland Browns is not what Mayfield knows about our defense. It's what Mayfield knows about our offense. Because like it or not, Clarence, people out there, you can like it or you can like me what I'm telling you or not. And right now, Baker Mayfield knows more about the Cleveland Browns offense than Deshaun Watson does, or Brissett, or whoever's going to play in week 1. So flip it around. It's not what Baker knows about the defense that's going to come at him. It is what our offense is about, because that's what he knows. So every little tidbit, everything he's going to share with the Carolina Panthers, trust me, it ain't going to be about how good our defense is. It's going to be about how each individual play, what Nick Chubb does when he goes off tackle, how you stop Nick Chubb. You stop him when he goes sideways instead of running north and south. The patterns that DPJ takes, you could tell when he makes his cuts and all that stuff, all those little nuances that we don't see, all those little things. When the quarterback, when you see one guy go in motion, he knows which play is being run. The formations dictate which plays are being run. Unless Stefanski changes the system,
I think he's got to at this point.
Unless he changes the system to work around his quarterback, whoever that may be, instead of having his quarterback work around his system, then Mayfield won't have a leg to stand on. But if Stefanski stays status quo, stays true to himself, stays that his system is good with whoever's playing quarterback, Mayfield knows how this offense runs. Mayfield knows what's in the head of the head coach here. And that's what the Panthers are going to try to pick his brain about. Not what the defense is doing, but what our offense is doing.
I feel like this, yeah, absolutely. But I feel like this offense, they can't come out and run that same BS they were running 3 tight ends last year with all the little quick bubble tight end screens and all that kind of stuff. The stuff that it looked like they were trying to run to hide Mayfield's injuries, I guess, is some of it.
Oh,
I feel like,
and like I said earlier too, the lack of separation from the wide receivers could lead to that play calling too.
yeah, very true.
Yeah.
You're 100% right. You're 100% right. But yeah, I agree with you that it's going to be something where Baker's going to be able to give them some knowledge, probably a little bit on both sides of the ball, but especially he was the quarterback, so
yep, exactly.
He knows where receivers like the ball. He knows, all right, Chubb likes to hit the hole this way. Hunt likes to hit the hole this way.
Yeah,
You know, so he's going to be able to provide a little bit of information for sure.
and like I said, if Stefanski doesn't change the way the system's running, man, as soon as they see the formation, when they see the 2-3 tight ends, the Panthers are going to know what play is going to be run.
Mhm.
Because when you got 3 tight ends, you got 1 receiver. So that just goes, he's either going to be a handoff or he's going to do a bubble screen or a pass over. See, he knows what that offense is, but if Stefanski changes the schemes, changes the way he runs plays, because he's now tailored his offense around who's playing quarterback now,
Mhm.
his strengths, as opposed to having the quarterback then play Stefanski's strength, then you're going to have a problem. Not just with Mayfield, but you're going to have a problem with other teams that already know what you're running.
Yeah, exactly. This should be interesting. We're getting there, man. We're getting there slowly but surely.
But surely
we are getting to football.
We're getting to football, man. We'll talk about the special teams, and we'll talk about. I want to get into the coaching staff too in the coming weeks. Training camp starts, folks, on Sunday, bro. On Sunday. So it's getting real, man. We're getting real. Training camp, and then the first game is, I think, August 9th.
I think so.
Yep. And that's on the road against Tampa, I believe. And then we got a home game with the Philadelphia Eagles and the Bears. And then the season starts. We're almost there, man.
We're slowly but surely. I cannot wait.
We're getting up on it, brothers. So
stuff on the field.
Yeah.
On the field.
It was good to get back in here and start talking football again instead of other stuff. So
yes,
yeah, absolutely. Let's get to it again next week. And folks, again, thanks for being patient with us. It's really, July is probably the worst month the whole year for any sports, because the only thing going on is baseball. But it's hard, man. It's hard to get some content here. We get people out here to. But just if you have anything you want to talk about, just go on our webpage. I believe that mediallc.com. Let us know what you want to hear. But talk about, we'll get something out here for you, partner.
And tweet at us too. Tweet at us at Dawgs. Dawgs. Just tweet at us. We if there's something you want to hear us talk about or some questions you want answered, let us know. We would be happy to jump in and answer your questions.
All right, partner. It's time to call this another day for another week, and we'll talk again soon, folks. In the words of the great Frederick Kitchens,
if you don't wear brown and orange, folks, you don't matter. Peace, y'all. Have a good week.
Everybody, have a good week.